You're now listening to The Social Hour.
They're not PC, so if occasional foul language turns you off, then you have all been warned. This is the calm before the storm.
All 7 of us in this moose are real sorry.
Get ready for the Social Hour.
Live from Deece World Studios in Spokane, Washington, this is The Social Hour. On today's show, from the Weekly Awesome podcast, Maya and Krista. And now your host. He roasted the government so hard in 2020, they didn't even send him his $600. Deece Casillas.
Malam Keen, everyone. Welcome to the show. This is The Social Hour. I am Deece. Thanks for coming around. We got a great episode planned. Maya and Krista from the Weekly Awesome podcast are going to be joining us in just a second here. Before we talk to them, guys, we got a new show alert. New show alert every Friday. First episode dropped last Friday. Next episode this Friday. The Dollar Bin Podcast, a new weekly show I'm doing where I rate and review obscure trade paperback or comic book miniseries. And then I read a comic book out of the dollar bin that I bought at from the dollar bin at your local comic book store. And I rate and review that too. Don't worry, I don't read it on the show. I read it beforehand because I'm a professional and I prepare, goddammit. That's not true. I've never prepared for anything in my life, which is probably why I only have a GED. So check that show out, though. It's going to be an audio show, new episodes every every Friday. Also, video with some extra goodies, bonus content in the video on YouTube. So subscribe to the Social Hour Deece Casillas page on YouTube to get that. Social Minute every Monday. Some Imperfections every other Wednesday. Social Hour Tuesdays, Thursdays. Social Hour Morning Paper, Patreon only. Bro, you're getting so much stuff. And now you're going to talk with the Weekly Awesome podcast, Maya and Krista. They're on the show. Check it out. Take a listen and welcome them to the Social Hour, everyone. All right, thanks for joining us, everyone. We are here with our guests, the co-hosts of the Weekly Awesome podcast, Maya and Krista. How's it going tonight?
Hey, so good. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm excited to talk to you too. So it's nice to I like talking to other people that are doing the podcast game and getting out there and seeing what it's all about for them. And you guys are fairly fresh. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, we just recorded our 4th show.
Yeah, 4th.
Yep.
Now, what got you inspired to do the show? Was it just quarantine finally, and you guys were just enough Zoom conversations where you're like, we should just record this gold? Like, how did it happen?
Well, I think it kind of started because Chris and I wanted to open up a restaurant together.
Yeah, we both love food.
Oh, wow. Okay. Do you work in the service industry or have any experience, or are you just like, we love food, let's do it?
I think all 3 of those really. I currently work in the service industry. Maya was in the service industry, right, Maya?
Yeah, I was at Zona Blanca for a bit. I mean, I served and bartended, but then I was cooking at Zona for a short time.
Okay. Is that the ceviche place that was downtown in the back of Steel Barrel? Oh, that place was good.
Yeah, they're reopening. Chad White has parted ways with Steel Barrel as far as Zona Blanca goes and is opening up a whole restaurant. So pretty excited.
That's awesome. Good. So you were in the service industry and decided you want to do a restaurant.
Yeah, because Chris is currently in the industry and we both love food, and I've known her wife for a while, so then it just was like kind of an organic connection between us. Yeah. And here's the pandemic. It's not really the best time to start a business. I mean, I don't know. Some people are thriving out there, but And then I'm like, you know what, Krista, let's start a fucking podcast. I think you're funny. I think I'm funny. People want to hear what we have to say.
That's right. That's all it takes. It turns out, you know, you just got to be able to get a little rap down, get a little talk, and you go from there. The rest figures itself out eventually, you know. So what kind of with the restaurant? What kind of restaurant did you want to open?
Boy, we kind of spun a few ideas. A lot of like tapas plates. I don't know if you know what tapas are, but like the smaller dishes, something like that, possibly, or like an ever-changing seasonal menu.
Okay, nice. That'd be Spokane is like, it's funny. They say that Spokane has like the most restaurants per capita in the country or something like that. Which is kind of crazy, but I guess it makes sense. You know, you drive up and down Division and stuff. It's just, I mean, they're counting like fast food places and things like that. But I mean, we've got a lot of, there's no lack of eating in Spokane.
I did know that we were like one of the top foodie destinations in the United States.
Really?
Like number 5 or something.
That's interesting. So I think our food game has stepped up a lot in the years I've been here. I will say I feel like we still struggle with any ethnic food really badly. Like you can get a whole lot of steaks and burgers pretty great, but you know, I mean, I grew up in LA and like I don't think we have any good Mexican food, really, to be honest. I don't know if we have a good Asian restaurant, like a really good Chinese spot. You can get some decent sushi and stuff, but like Chinese food and Mexican food. Somebody's opening up a Cuban food truck though, which is super exciting for me.
It's gonna be so good.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah. I forget the name of it, but they were on like the Spokane Food Finder page, and it's a food truck Cuban is my favorite cuisine. So, yeah. But
Cuban food's good. Have you been to Tacos El Sol on Division?
That's a spot.
Oh yeah, they are good. So I will say, maybe I should amend this. You can get some like good tacos. Like Tacos El Sol is good. They have good tacos, and they're pretty good tacos. I'll say that. But like if you want to get to like a Mexican dinner, you know, it's all pretty.
Yeah, we're lacking.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I guess I got spoiled though. I mean, I grew up on my grandma's Mexican food. She was born and raised in Guadalajara, so you can't really.
You can't compete.
You can't beat. I know. There's no beating that. I always say that I make the best Mexican food in Spokane. I bet.
Oh damn, dude, those are fighting words for some people.
Yeah, I bet I would put my Mexican food and tacos against anyone in Spokane. Ooh, absolutely.
Damn.
Absolutely.
Chris and I are trying to perfect the birria over here. So
yeah, that's interesting. I'd love to try it. I haven't tried to make those yet. That's the one thing, but that's so wildly popular. I've been looking at it, and I'm like, that's my next on my list to give a shot to. What's the secret? Have you been doing it?
So I've tried it twice, and I think the secret is the chili oil. I think if you can get that chili oil right, because that has so much flavor in it, you let it sit in your fridge for a few days too. Okay. Just explosion. I think that's my secret is the chili oil. Ooh. Krista?
I didn't use chili oil. What I did was like, I think they call it an adobo.
Yeah.
Sauce with the chilies. I made that, and I use a YouTube rendition. I don't know if you've heard of like I watch a lot of cooking shows and like people doing cooking stuff on YouTube, and his Joshua Weissman. Okay. He's got a pretty he's a little white boy, but he's got a pretty good recipe. Yeah. And I made the tacos, the birria tacos on Christmas Eve, I think. And then I noticed that Tacos El Sol has birria tacos now.
Do they?
Yeah. So I tried theirs and it was very similar.
Yeah.
They're pretty comparable.
I'm gonna have to go check theirs out because at least for tacos in town, they are definitely the best. The best spot, that's for sure.
But you're right. I mean, as far as ethnic food here in Spokane, it is kind of lacking. But we're on the east side of Washington.
I know, right? I know. It's not
pretty much. We're pretty much in Idaho.
You know what's funny though? I do a show every month in Lewiston, Idaho, right? And right across the street from the hotel I always stay at is this little taco joint called Taco Cici, and they might have the best tacos I've ever had in like from a restaurant in the United States. Like, wow. They're so in Lewiston, Idaho. It's so crazy. I know. I'm like, because my friend's like, you got to go to Taco Cece. I'm like, there's a taco place in Lewiston, Idaho. Like you're getting like, that's where I'm going to go. And I went there and I was like, well, holy shit. This is pretty amazing. So, I feel like if Lewiston could pull it off, Spokane should be able to. But we are, we certainly have grown leaps and bounds. It's funny, when I first moved here, Spokane was like, the Inlander would do their best of, and they're like, best burger, Red Robin, like, and I'm like, oh Christ, guys. Like, I feel like anything you should get, you can also get in an airport, can't win best anything. Like that's
no shit.
Yep.
that's kind of my rule of thumb with shit like that. So,
oh man.
Is there any desire to still go for the restaurant when this all clears up a little bit?
I mean, it's for me anyway. I would totally consider it. Why not? I mean, it might honestly be a good opportunity with all these restaurants closing.
The real estate.
Someone's going to take over those buildings. Yeah. Plus, they're going to get rid of their equipment. Yeah. So I mean, it might not be a bad option.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of real estate, openings, and it's unfortunate, it feels opportunist, but also not. I mean, there's nothing. It's not like you can save their business, and if you can go in and make something productive out of it, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. Well, I think too, I'm sure there's going to be some business loans out there.
You'd hope so. You'd think that, God, I mean, especially after the change of hands this morning in our country, might hopefully have some opportunities of rebuilding some things that have crumbled over the last, 4 years. Just to put a number on it. I don't know, any random number.
God.
So... Yeah, I mean, after this, it's like what do? You got to do something to get this economy back on its feet. You think some sort of giving people $1,200 or whatever the hell they're sending out people is better than nothing. But man, putting some money into the economy and getting people moving with businesses and being able to do that stuff would be way more beneficial.
Yep. Yeah. I'm still into it. If the opportunity arises, or I'm so down to open a restaurant with Krista. So I'm going back to school right now, and I'm not working. So, I mean, I have lots of time. I got lots of time to make something happen.
Nice. Would you guys go downtown, or would you guys got a location, area, town you'd want to be in, or?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think that I don't have a place in mind that I think would work the best.
Yeah. Just kind of depends on what looks best at the time. There's definitely opportunities around. And with little pockets in Spokane are growing and becoming more, cool little neighborhood stuff.
Like Monroe Street, Monroe.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. That's really up and coming.
Absolutely. East Sprague is too a little bit, actually, out there too. So there's, all that stuff. I mean, even Hilliard in 10 years or less, when they finish that freeway, if they ever do, Hilliard's going to be in an amazing part of town, and real estate's going to go up like crazy. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Spokane's kind of growing. Now's the time to get in on the ground floor.
For sure.
So, are you two from Spokane, or?
I'm actually from North Dakota.
Oh, okay.
So when you were talking about the restaurants and stuff, I'm like, man, I grew up on a fancy restaurant really being Applebee's.
Yeah, that was a nice night.
Yeah, when I moved here, I didn't even know what kale was. I never had zucchini. I shit you not. So I'm like, I think that's what got me so into food, was coming out to Spokane. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, they got two Applebee's here.
Out there.
Yeah.
It really is, man. It is, but
what part of North Dakota?
Minot, North Dakota.
I figured Minot. That's kind of
why not Minot, dude? Yeah, my dad was he was in the Air Force, and he decided to retire there. Okay. And then I was born there, so they're like, well, I guess we'll just stay here for 20-something years.
Yeah. What brought you to Spokane?
My mom's actually from Spokane.
Okay.
Yeah. So, living in North Dakota, I had an opportunity to come out here and go to college, and I took it.
Right. And then you've just decided to stay?
Yeah. Yeah, I love it here.
Yeah, Spokane's a nice spot. Like I said, I moved here a couple years ago from LA, and I mean, I'd never go back to LA. And I really like it here. I could do without the winters. Although this is probably nothing to you from North Dakota.
I honestly prefer North Dakota winters compared to here.
Really? Is it not colder there? Is it?
Because so in North Dakota, you kind of know what you're gonna get. You know you're gonna get dumped with like 9 feet of snow.
Yeah.
It's flat. Here, my first winter here, I don't know if you've ever been down the Lincoln Street Hill by the hospital on the South Hill.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
My first winter here, I went sliding down that in first gear in my Toyota Corolla, like on sheer ice. And I almost shit my pants, man. I was so scared. I'm honking at people because it dumps snow here. And then it gets warm enough where it melts, and then it freezes. So then it's ice. So it's like slush, ice, snow. Like it's just, you know what you're in. There's hills here.
Yeah, that's what I moved here in a year, like right after a bad winter, and there was snow piled everywhere still. And I like looked at places on the South Hill, and there was like just giant like piles of snow, like 8 feet high everywhere. And I'm like, I'm not living on this fucking hill if it snows like this every year. Are you out of your mind? I'm like, I need flat ground.
Yeah.
This is nuts.
Have you seen snow before you moved here, or have you been like?
Yeah, I had. So I lived in western Montana in Missoula for a couple years in my early kind of mid-teens. I lived there for kind of about a year and a half, something like that. I
love snow.
You love snow, Maya? Is that
yeah, I do. I said. So you did see snow.
Oh, I did. Sorry. Yeah, I did. I had seen snow. Yeah, but I
do like snow. I mean, I've lived here pretty much my whole life. I've bounced around, but this is where I was born, and here I am. 30 years later. So
yeah, it's a nice. A lot of the people who grow up here tend to talk a lot of shit on it. Then they all move to Seattle, and 5.5 years later they move back.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know. I have an interesting perspective, I guess, or different than the people who grew up here. But when people, I moved here and like, don't go here. This part of town's dangerous, or like this part is the ghetto. And I'm like looking, I'm like, what? This whole place is really nice. And I'm like, yeah, there's some rundown spots, and like, there's some crazy people everywhere you go occasionally, but I'm like, this is all pretty nice. It's pretty cheap. It has everything you'd want in a big city, but still a small town vibe too. It's like,
I always call it a little big city.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's so funny when people talk about the dangerous areas. I mean, I've, like I said, lived here my whole life. I used to live off Altamont and 2nd.
Okay.
And that was when I was, I don't know, 8, so it wasn't nice.
Yeah.
I'd walk the streets by myself with our friends, and people were like, don't go down there. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I'm always so confused. So it's really funny the perspective that people have. Some people have never read the city bus. I'm like, I was riding the city bus all over before I was 10.
Yeah. You just, people confuse old and run down with like unsafe, I guess, or something. It's like, no, it's just, it doesn't look like shiny, but it's fine,
Right.
Yeah. When I first moved here, I lived on Ray Street, like near Sprague and Freya.
I thought you were trying to stay away from the hills when you moved here. That's like the biggest hill in the city.
No, it's the bottom of the hill. So I lived on a block off Sprague. So like I was on the north side of the freeway. So I was on just off the bottom of the hill. But like I moved there, and I didn't know anything about Spokane. I was going to stay here for 8 months. I rented a place for 8 months and found this house that was cheap. And everyone's like, "Oh man, you live in the ghetto. That place is so bad." And I'm like, all my neighbors are over 65 and on Social Security. I don't feel that. Like I feel pretty safe. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, it's a rundown. It's kind of rundown and old, but like, and yeah, there's some hookers on Sprague, but like, I'm not. That doesn't make me feel unsafe. Like I don't know.
Right.
What do you think? These people are gonna like mug you? Like,
I don't know. Yeah, what do people think is going to happen? I mean, you guys have lived here a long time. what is there anything super crazy incidents you've had where you really felt unsafe in Spokane?
I only really feel unsafe on the north side, like way north. That's the only time I ever feel unsafe.
Like when in Deer Park?
Yeah, Deer Park area. Yeah. That's the only time I ever feel unsafe.
Yeah.
When you start to question, am I in Idaho?
Right.
Or...
Yeah. Like, why are there so many MTFU stickers on trucks?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I get that. That's the times I like, when I've felt way more unsafe doing like shows in North Idaho than I have ever in Spokane. Mm-hmm. Or like walking the streets of Spokane. I spent a lot of time downtown even before it was shut down, like late at night. And I'm like, or I'd go take pictures, like walk around the park and take pictures till like 1 a.m. You're like, oh, you got to be safe out there. I'm like, fucking why? Like,
yeah. I've spent a lot of nights after the bars closed down walking around those streets, and I've always been okay.
Yeah, well, by the grace of God, Maya, you made it, you know.
Yeah. Or maybe I just don't remember what had happened. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you kicked someone's ass. You might be a superhero and don't even realize it.
God, how cool would that be?
So the podcast, you started to do the podcast. How often does it come out? Tell us a little about the format and what you guys talk about on the show.
Yeah, so they are released every Friday. It's the Weekly Awesome Podcast, so we can't have weekly in the title and then only do it once a month, right?
The
bi-weekly Awesome Podcast, yeah.
The mostly weekly podcast.
Mostly. Yeah, so every Friday, and we kind of just get on and bullshit about what's happening in our lives. Sometimes there is a focus, you know, if you guys have listened to episode 2, that was about conspiracy theories, and we had a guest on, and
I was listening to that earlier today. That's the one I clicked on because I like conspiracy theories. So I've eaten too many mushrooms in my life to not like conspiracy theories. So so that was about conspiracy that you kind of just whatever is going on. Why was there something specifically that got you in kind of going on the conspiracy theory trail?
Ooh, the QAnon. I think the episode before that we kind of briefly discussed QAnon.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Well, those are all facts.
How bizarre.
Yeah,
those are all facts.
Those are all facts. QAnon is that's my Encyclopedia Britannica.
Is this the craziest shit? Like, what was going on with that QAnon? I don't know.
It is, Krista, but also we live in a time where nothing shocks me anymore. I'm like, yeah, fucking exactly. Like, why? Well, of course that's going to happen. You know, it's, you know, we live in the age of the most information accessible at our fingertips, and nobody uses any of it.
Yep. They're not even questioning it. They're like, oh, Tom Hanks is running this whole ring, this sex ring of child. I mean, I don't know. The dude from Big and Forrest Gump.
Yeah, these. There's some pretty wild ideas out there. So where do you guys fall with conspiracy? Are there any conspiracies you believe in?
I mean, like, I talked briefly about aliens in the podcast, and I don't know if that falls under conspiracy theories or not, but that's one that I 100% believe. And I think we kind of all agreed on that, right? Krista, you, me, and Joe were all like, yeah, aliens are for sure real. But there's nothing crazy like, you know, some people believe that the moon landing was faked. You know, I don't believe anything crazy like that.
Well, the moon has to be real before we can land on it. So it's not they faked the moon landing; they just faked the moon.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there's a comedian. His name's Eddie Bravo. I'm not sure if you've heard of him, but he's does a podcast called the Tinfoil Hat Podcast. So it's a lot of conspiracy theory stuff. I did a show with him one time, and afterwards we're standing outside the club and smoking weed. He's like, just starts talking. I'm trying to pick his brain about conspiracy theory stuff and like kind of challenging him on some shit because he believes some wild shit. And then we were talking about the moon landing. He's like, and then he goes, yeah, man, well, fucking, space isn't even real. And I'm like, I gotta go. I'm tapping out, man. Like, I can't. I
can't smoke enough weed for this shit.
Yeah, like I don't know how to get on board with space isn't real. Like, I don't know where to go with that conference. I don't have enough mental dexterity to know how to handle space not being real.
Do you think he really believed it, like in his heart?
Partly yes. Like he's the type of guy who like. It's not necessarily that he believes it all. It's that he's like he's like, I don't know. And anything could be true. So to him, space is just as fake as it is real. It's like it's at best a push on whether it's real or not.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, it's kind of wild. But yeah, the conspiracy theories are I feel like we're in an age of information. They're just getting more and more crazy and less people actually, educating themselves on. They just read a headline on a website that suffix looks like Elon Musk's son's name, and it just ends in QNXXAF, and you're like, yeah, it's a website that's credible.
Right.
I'll take that news and spread it around on Facebook forever. Yeah, it's a little nuts. But everyone's on board with aliens though, huh?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're here and the universe is so big, there's got to be some other form of life somewhere.
Sure. It seems like it. Yeah, it seems like the odds are very good when in an infinite the odds of life are minuscule, but extrapolated by infinity, they get pretty good, right? Is that, I mean, I just have a GED, but I think that's how math works.
Well,
that's all you need now.
Literally. And who's to say that we're not the aliens? There could be someone out there, we're the fucking aliens to them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it could be a whole, I mean, we are, in a sense, we are. So, what, when you say aliens, what's your view? Is it like, do you think they've been here? Do you think you think they've been here? Do you think they're still here?
Yes.
Do you think they're in our government?
Probably.
Wow. Okay, Maya. Wow.
Yeah, man. I don't think they're in our government. I don't think. I think they just show up, check things out, and then they dip out. They're like, "Damn, dude."
That's it.
Yeah. Gotta go.
Yeah.
So
I don't think there's like a human being walking around like, somebody being an alien.
Yeah, that.
I mean, if they were here, they might have left sometime in the last 4 years, but they might start showing up again.
Yeah, right. They're like, we're out, or maybe this is the time they tune in. I always imagined we are basically like Space's reality TV show, and they just watch us like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. We're just a shit show that they just constantly watch and laugh at.
The ratings are out of this world.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you did there. Okay.
You're a dork.
You can find that and more on the Weekly Awesome podcast every Friday. What was again, you guys started the podcast and wanted to just hang out, talk and laugh and like, so do you guys like have a topic when you go into the show, or you just start talking and see what happens?
I think initially one of our first shows, we kind of just bantered back and forth. I'm pretty sure, right, Maya?
Yeah, because we weren't really sure we wanted to vibe with each other to see how it was going to work.
Yeah.
And we liked it, and I recorded the whole thing. And so we're like, all right, cool. There's episode number 1. And then the second one, because we talked about, QAnon in the first one, that was our topic. Well, conspiracy theories for the second. And it's kind of how it goes. I mean, if there's something that strikes us, we'll make that a topic. Like there's a couple things that we want to talk about in the future. But weekly, we're still like, what's up?
Yeah.
I think having a topic, like I feel for me personally, if you're trying to have a podcast with a specific topic, I feel too much pressure to like strictly surround that whole topic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, just a general, just kind of, you just let it breathe and see where it goes. You know, it's going to go in the right direction and kind of become whatever the topic needs to be that day.
Yeah, and that's what we found too. And we're so new. We're giving ourselves lots of grace with the process, and we're just gonna keep on rolling how we are.
Yeah, I mean, well, the nice thing is there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's your show, so you do whatever the hell you want, and I mean, hopefully you just hope people listen, and if not, as long as you're having fun, whatever. It's like. You don't have executives giving you notes and asking you to do something different. I imagine this week there's lots to talk about with everything that happened in the news this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Some interesting shifts in America.
God, yes. And we actually just recorded yesterday before the inauguration.
Okay.
So everyone's going to miss that this Friday, but next Friday I'm sure there's going to be lots of tea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how things go in the next few years. Any predictions for what's going to change, what we may see?
Man, at the moment I don't have too many predictions about the future because I'm scared that kind of what happened with Obama's term is things calmed down, but they didn't really get fixed. I think there's kind of a Band-Aid with specifically, racial injustices and such, which has been such an issue the last 4 years. We all want to think it's going to get better because Biden's a very vocal, and then now we have a Black Indian woman in the White House. But I can't be too hopeful when it just looks like Band-Aids are put on top of things.
Yeah. Krista, thoughts?
I want to stay positive. I mean, they weren't necessarily the best candidates.
Right.
We kind of just stuck with them. But I feel like even just today, man, like just this sense of relief and a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
Like somebody that is in the office that's presidential, he is able to voice issues that have been going on and kind of goals surrounding those issues. Like what are the plans? What are the solutions? So I feel a lot better as opposed to what we've dealt with the last 4 years.
Just chaos.
There was definitely a sigh of relief today.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah, it's what'll be interesting to see is if he goes away and if his supporters go away, or if they're just if that is just so emboldened and out now that it's going to be just another thing that is constant and stays around or becomes something else, some other version of it, and just kind of keeps it as an irritant.
Yeah, you said the right word. I mean, he's emboldened all these people, and they just feel, I think that they have the sense of power now because there was this troll in the office for 4 years,
Yeah.
So they're going to be here. They're going to be here for a while. I mean, we still see the hats and the flags.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Can you imagine though what it's going to look like in a year though if you still run into people with this Trump shit? I feel like
yeah.
But they are starting the Patriot Party.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, yeah. Good luck, guys. These people.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's great. You start a new party. Okay. That doesn't really do much for the political system. And ask the libertarians how that worked out, starting another political party. Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's deeper than everything too. There's like so many changes that really need to be made in the political system, in our politicians, and what they're accountable for, term lengths, the lobbyists, and all these shit that really needs to change to really make a difference. Unfortunately, but I think Chrissy hit it on the head. I think we kind of got stuck with just the candidates. The Democrats were shooting for someone to beat Trump, they didn't want to win, they wanted to not lose. And they kind of just shot down the middle, and they're like, if we put Bernie out there, we're not going to win any votes from the right or the middle. If we put Biden out there, we're going to get everyone on the, everyone who votes blue is going to vote blue, but we're going to steal some of those Trump votes. And but the only benefit is maybe this is a tiptoe into something more.
Hopefully.
a progression into that. So
before I got on here too, I was talking to my wife. She was telling me that he didn't even pardon any of those people that rushed the Capitol building. He didn't pardon one of them.
Isn't that exactly his style to just go do this stupid thing and then you fucking deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, they're pissed at him.
Yeah, I can imagine. Shit. So I don't know why, but this is telling me we only have 2 minutes.
2 minutes
left in the Zoom.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer you want to go, but if you do stop this, we can start another one.
Oh,
that's
can
what
we?
Chris and I had to do. Yeah, you can stop this one, and then that means you'll have 2 files to merge together.
Yeah, let me just give me a second, and I will. Should I just email you the link again? And we're going again. So, and we're back from that interruption because Zoom doesn't give us longer than 40 minutes at a time. I like the workaround where they're like, you can log back in. You can be inconvenienced and use it again. Right? It just has to. You have to pause for a second. It's like the parking meters. At least it's better than the parking meters downtown, where once you park for 2 hours, they're like, you got to fucking move. You can't stay here anymore.
So dumb. We got a parking ticket downtown because we backed in, like the diagonal parking spots.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We backed into them, and that's not legal to do.
Like the ones on Main Street or something by there, kind of, or where? Like
right across from the AMC by Riverfront Park. Right, I think it's the City Hall building.
Oh, okay.
They're those diagonal parking spots, and you're supposed to go forward, but we backed in and we got like $35 ticket.
That's crazy.
Oh my god, that is some petty shit, man.
Yeah.
Just spotted, of course.
Is it because you're going against traffic when you dip out?
Probably.
That's ridiculous.
Just mad about it.
Yeah. It is absurd to me that especially, I mean, I got furious when it was like literally a couple days after the pandemic hit, and so many people had just lost their jobs and like weren't going to be able to work for X amount of time. Like things had just gotten bad, that's kind of, it must have been a couple weeks in it, because after people are like, things will be shut down for a while instead of just like, it'll be a week and you'll be fine. A year later, here we are. And, but I remember I was driving around and there were 3 different speed traps around Spokane. And I'm like, is this really the best way the best thing for our police to be doing right now? Like, so many people just lost their jobs, don't have income. Who knows when it's coming back? And like, we are worried about speed traps. And I'm like, we have way bigger crimes in general. Like I get it. If someone's going like 90 down Division, okay. Yeah, don't do that. But like, if someone's going 70 on the freeway instead of 60, fucking this isn't the time, right?
Agreed. But I mean, we have the SPD. What do you expect?
Oh God. Well,
oh God.
Yeah,
the worst as far as speed traps are the video surveillance at the 4-way stops or the lights.
Yeah.
Have you got those tickets?
I got one of those in California years ago. It was expensive at the time. That was like $530.
Jesus.
Yeah, and that was.
Well, they're not even out of Spokane. So check this out. I got a $130-something ticket sent to me from one of those things over by do you know where was it Moose? What is it, Uncle Ray's or Uncle Moose's spot? It used to be Jenny's Cafe.
Oh yeah, yes.
Uncle Rusty's.
Yeah.
Uncle Rusty's. There we go.
On second and Cedar, or second and Maple or something.
Yeah. So my car is registered to my parents' house, and so my dad's like, I accidentally opened up some mail. It looks like you got a ticket. And I'm like, what? So I'm looking at this ticket, this of me blowing through a red light.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, like I'm never really over there. So then I go through my phone, right? So one day I like went and dropped off an application for a kitchen spot downtown. I'm driving. It's like 4:00 in the daytime, and I'm about ready to walk back to my car. I see this naked dude walking downtown Spokane. This is the crazy shit that happens in Spokane.
Yeah.
Right? Butt ass naked. So I'm like, holy shit, right? So I like whip out my video and like kind of just pull up on him like, damn, it's 4:00 in the daytime. He's just strolling. So I got so excited about seeing this naked ass dude downtown in the middle of the day. So that was actually from that.
Because you rolled through a light?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Checking out a naked dude.
Checking out a naked dude, right? Oh man, I can send you the video, man. It's the craziest shit.
I believe it. That sounds like Spokane, especially that part of downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a little secret about those cameras. After I paid my ticket, a lawyer friend of mine in California told me they're not admissible. If you show up, you're admitting guilt. If you don't show up, there's really no way for them to pursue it. If you don't show up or pay the ticket. And also most of the times, like the ones that are in Spokane, the company is out of like Chicago or something.
I think Arizona.
Maybe that's it. Yeah. There's something. So if you go, if you contest the ticket and then they have to show up, send someone or show up to fight the ticket in court, and there's no one to show. I mean, but people just don't know that, so people just assume and pay it. But yeah, you can contest it, or say you want a court date, and then if they don't, who's gonna, what is a fucking robot gonna show up and be like, I took this picture, it's sent, I mean, they got so yeah. You can fight them.
Zoom in.
Yeah, they're really easy to get thrown out. So. Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Yeah, next time.
Yeah, so blow through those fucking things, then flip off the judge when you. Okay, don't do that. Bad legal advice, but.
I'm gonna get those plates. You can buy those plate covers where there's like tinted windows, but it's on your plates. I guess they can't scan that shit.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking great. How long until they make that illegal?
My dad.
Your dad has them?
Yeah, he's like in his mid-70s, so he's like, I'm not paying these tickets.
That's awesome.
He's like, you gotta get plates. You gotta fuck him over somehow. I'm like, okay.
I like your dad. I like the cut of his gym.
Mm-hmm.
He sounds like my kind of guy.
Oh man, he's wild.
Between Maya's dad and your dad, man, I want to hang out with you guys' dad. They should do a podcast.
Oh no, man.
My dad would be rapping the whole time.
All right, yeah. He's just rapping, and then Chris's dad's rapping about how to fuck the man by not having your license plates being able to be read by the cops. It's a great duo.
Yep. Fuck the police.
Yeah, that seems like a super illegal thing that. Like maybe they just haven't caught up the technology yet, but like being able them to not. So I mean, you can't even have your license plate or your windows at a certain tint. That's illegal. So to not have your license plate be scannable. But like, I don't know. I guess what's the argument of the cops? How does that? I mean, the tinted windows. They say it's a safety thing where they don't know what they're walking up on. Like, okay, kind of bullshit, but I get it. Like them not being able to pilfer money from you because they can't read your license plate. Like, right. Sorry, homie. Get better technology.
They're hard to read though. Like you have to like walk up, even if you're no video or photo. You have to like walk up and really look at it too.
Really? What does it do? Is it just like a sheen, or does it reflect? How do they work?
From what I see, it's like do you remember like those little cards from like the 80s and 90s where you look at them from one angle and it's like a bald eagle, and you kind of turn it a little bit and it turns into a horse?
Okay, yeah.
It kind of has that material. Okay. So you have to look at it from like directly from the back, because if you hit it from the side, you can't see it.
That's great. These are like legit, like I'm not getting pulled over, you're not going to know who I am type license plate covers. I don't know where my dad got it. He was like in the black market in Taiwan, and he's just like going on some crazy shit. Yeah, because they've got all these. It's kind of creepy now. Speaking of like conspiracy theories, like we were talking earlier, there's all these cameras around. I realized like about a year ago or so, there is cameras on damn near every fucking street corner now. And like, I'm sure at some point, some of them pay off because somebody who attacked someone and they can trace them, see the steps of where they go through the cameras. But like, they can go through, I mean, with all the facial recognition shit they've put in, all like when you're driving down the highway, like they will scan license plates and they can literally see they take catalog who's driving down the road every day. And like, that's some Big Brother scary shit.
I think it's even bigger than that. I think that they're, I mean, watching us from up there too. You know what I mean? With all of the satellites and stuff. We can't hide.
Oh no. I mean, we all gave up our freedom when we signed our Verizon contracts. But, you know,
we talked a little bit about that on that episode. We just are giving up our rights as soon as we put the phone in our hand.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Although, you know, I mean, when you think about it, we all have a social security number. They've been tracking us all since we were born. They took our fingerprints and, you know, signed us a number as soon as we were born. We all had that. Well, some of my cousins didn't, but they had to swim here. So yeah, I mean, it's that there's actually, it's funny you say that, Maya, that the surveillance in space and stuff, because I was listening to this thing the other day. The NSA essentially now has these satellites that they can hear from space. They can listen into conversations anywhere. Like they could like point it at my house and be listening to me talking from these satellites in space right now. Like that's fucking wild.
I mean, I hope they're, you know, using them for something better than listening to what's going on in my house.
Yeah. If they want to hear this, they should download the episode. You
guys can go to Spotify. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Don't just listen to this. That's not how I want my tax dollars spent.
No shit.
Being listened to. But yeah, I mean, that's, you know, it's like, that's a crazy thing to think about with the, you know, infringement on civil liberties and how we've just slowly kind of been giving them away. You know, I mean, we give up you know, I mean, shit, with the Patriot Act, how many things that kind of signed away with our, you know, freedom and privacy. But then again, also, like, I don't know, I kind of always assumed that anything I do on the internet, anyone can find anytime, you know.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
I'm like, except the Pornhub search history. That wasn't mine.
Yeah, that was. I let my computer out to my dad.
It just run amok.
Yeah, crazy how that happens sometimes. Yeah, it's a scary world we live in. How much it's just going to get more and more down that road, though. You know, the more we get integrated with technology, you know, they talk about like. Us moving into like a virtual reality or like having, you know, or like avatars and being integrated with technology. And you're like, we kind of already are. You have a profile on these apps that know your algorithm. They know what you like. They know what you don't like. They can show you things that they can predict what you're going to want to see. And it's like, we're kind of already integrated with technology and one with it in a weird way.
For sure. So are they talking like that movie or the book turned movie Ready Player One?
I have not seen that. What's that? What is that?
Good. They just came out with a second book.
I know. I'm so excited. I have it downloaded. So they put on, you know, like the VR goggles. Yeah. And then they're put into another world where they are interacting with actual people, avatars. Nobody's supposed to use their real name in the movie. And you can even buy these suits where you can feel someone touching you. And so the real world is complete shit. So everyone goes into this virtual reality every day to escape this horrible world they're in. You know, very brief synopsis of the movie, but.
Okay. I just definitely got a absolutely above board version of able to download any movie on my TV. Don't worry, it's totally legal for the NSA who's listening in on this show. I did that today. So, and actually, it's funny. Ready Player One was like one of the first things on the home screen on this page. I'm like, and I've heard of it. I just never seen it.
I loved it.
Okay,
it's good. Yeah,
I'll have to watch it.
The vibe's cool.
It does bring up an interesting question of like are we living in a simulation already?
Yes.
Our virtual world. You think we are, Maya? You're just like yes, or
I don't know. I think there's just too many unanswered things and unexplained. I'm just like, yep.
Yeah, why not?
Shit's not right.
It's a weird thing because I mean this could have possibly been a high thought.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, this
I'm like only when I'm high.
yeah, right. Well, it makes more sense then. And then you get you sober up. You're like, what the fuck is I talking about? But I mean, I always think about how like I started thinking about this COVID and how it pushes us all to be like separates us and then pushes us all to be online and doing virtual stuff more, and we integrate more with virtual. So like, is like COVID just like a archetype for a computer virus that pushes us deeper into another form of this like simulation? Like we are a simulation, and then that simulation got a virus because that's what it's just, like, and that makes us all go, oh, well, now we go to just talking to each other this way and integrate with technology until this just is life. And then that gets a virus and like pop, pop, pop. You know what I'm saying?
So scary.
Right?
I think of it like this as far as Corona, and this is kind of goes back to that high thought.
Yeah. Everything goes back to high thoughts.
I'm telling you, sometimes because you're like, you question shit. You're like in the middle of washing dishes and all of a sudden you're like, the coronavirus. And then all of a sudden it trails off.
Yeah.
I think the coronavirus is Earth's way of kind of fighting against us in a sense, especially with the climate change. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. But as far as like technology goes, it is interesting how we've kind of changed mentally as far as I mean, I'll be reading a book and I'll be trying to zoom in on a book.
Oh yeah.
Or a picture with my hands, like I would trying to get a better look on Instagram, So I mean, it's interesting how the habits have changed our brain.
Yeah.
And then Krista realizes she's just really stoned and doesn't have her glasses on.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, if I don't like what someone's wearing, I just start swiping to see if they change outfits. Yeah.
What kind of apps are you on?
Did you say apps or acid? Because those are the
depends on the day.
Yeah, sometimes it's both. No, yeah, it is a weird. Reality's weird. This whole time is weird. But I think you're right. I mean, more so than the simulation thing. I think it is just Mother Nature kind of running its course and I mean, Mother Nature has been here for billions of years before we were here and will be here long after we're gone. And it kind of has an ecosystem that is always trying to stay at homeostasis. And, we are obviously fucking that up. So it's like, we got to cull the herd a little bit. And it's like, release which X virus that it is this, century. It's always something. And it's just keeping those numbers in check. So,
Yep.
Yeah, it's a little frightening to think about, but when you think about it, like it's just another organic system. I mean, when we have free radicals and things in our bodies that are not treating our body well, our body finds ways to fight it and take care of them. So it's just doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Mother Nature has had enough.
Yeah, I get it.
She's a cold bitch. She doesn't care who's gonna, who comes in her way.
Yeah, it's like I'll live this life alone. I don't care. I can do it alone. I'll just be out here floating in space by myself. Yeah. So during this quarantine time, have either of you two, what have you guys been doing with your time? Have you rediscovered old things that you used to love and rediscovered them, or were there any new hobbies or anything you found yourself
doing?
Krista? Geez, I'm usually into like a lot of different hobbies anyway. I feel like I have like ADHD.
Yeah. I'm
like a master of nothing, but I know a lot about, or I do like a lot of weird things, but I'm like a master of none of them.
What do you do? Give us some examples.
I mean, I like to paint. I got back into, I grew up skateboarding.
Nice.
I got back into skateboarding. which was kind of short lived. I guess once you're in your mid 30s and you take a little spill, it takes a couple days to recover.
Not the same. That's not the same.
Yeah, when you're younger. Yeah, I mean, I've been reading a lot of books lately. I just been trying to stay busy, really into cooking.
Nice.
You know, I really want to sharpen my chef skills, and I've been really enjoying that.
Yeah. I think that's been nice. You know, I love to cook also, and like before this hit, I was on the road 6 to 8 months a year for comedy, traveling, you know, and now I've been home, and like I've spent a shit ton of time with my dog, which is great. I like have been cooking again every day, and that makes me so happy. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of you know, there's weird things, like we all get caught up in this life that hopefully this gives people perspective. But Americans are pretty dumb and have a short attention span. But like, hopefully people come out of this with some perspective, like, oh, like I forgot I love to paint so much, or like, read this, or, you know, reading every day does make me happy, and just we'll carry these things on when things do kind of come back to some semblance of normalcy. You know, I think we all got lost in this, life, you know, of whatever, you know, it just kind of sweeps you up, especially the way technology moves so fast. We all just kind of get caught up, and we have this weird way in America of like being proud about not getting any sleep and working all the time. It's like, why is that like a source of pride? We should be like, yeah, I fucking got 8 hours of sleep and I didn't work for the last 3 days. Like, let's normalize that. Like having a me day, and, you know, I did yoga, and then I read and I painted today. That's what I did, you know?
People want to be the best at everything, regardless if it's good or not. Like, you only got 3 hours of sleep, I got 2. Yeah. You know, right. Like it's always who's the best.
Yeah, it's weird that, like, I mean, it's weird that like not being well rested, it feels like not taking care of yourself became like something to be proud of in America, which is really weird. Because like I'm like a big proponent about like yoga, meditation, mental health, and stuff like that, and people just don't check in with themselves enough and like take care of themselves, and it really showed. And I just hope that people really you know, have found, maybe discover that during this time, and keep doing that moving forward.
I hope so. I think people think that bettering themselves, either mentally or physically, they're scared to fail, and then that shows weakness, and so they just stop trying. Yeah. And I don't think enough of us talk about it. Talk about our failures. Everyone wants to talk about their wins, and I think we start talking about like, man, I lost 30 pounds and then I gained 45. But then, you know what? I lost 15 and now I'm on the right track again, whatever their story is. Yeah. We don't talk enough about the fails.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's odd. I don't think there's anything wrong with failing. I mean, I think failing, it's kind of cliche, but failing really is only a failure if you let yourself, you know, let it defeat you. You know, if you can find a way to use that as a reason to a learning, you know, platform, or a reason to pivot slightly, how to adjust to do it better in the future. But yeah, I mean, people just really just kind of get on these weird paths and then never deviate. So, what about you, Maya? Did you find anything, rediscover anything during this time that you used to do, or start doing something new?
No rediscoveries. Anything new? Nope. No. Like, I wish. I mean, I started working out again. Okay. I mean, I really just stopped. Started working out again. So that's exciting. My partner and I both have lost a bit of weight. But I mean, I've been doing the same things. I cook all the time, still doing that. I have an 8-year-old. He keeps me very busy. Yeah. We have 3 dogs, 2 cats, and our home are renovating. So
that is a whole lot of animals. What kind of dogs do you have there?
Yeah, we have an English bulldog, Luna, and then we have a European boxer, and his name is Kingston. Okay.
Wait, 2 dogs or 3 dogs?
2 dogs, 3 cats.
Oh, 2. Okay, all right. I thought you said 3 dogs. You just didn't give a shit about the third one. You're like, I'm going to tell you about these 2. Fuck that other guy. I don't give a shit about them.
That little fucker, I don't know where he is. I don't even know what his name is. No.
Yeah, keep him outside. Yeah, it's good. I mean, finding that rhythm again of like just being able to work out or do things that like you enjoy, and then finding projects like this to keep you busy or that you love, instead of just that daily grind that you don't know, like never taking the time to be like, oh, I want to do my thing, enjoy some time.
I am trying to learn how to give myself my own time. I'm a pleaser, like I want to make sure everyone else is happy before I worry about my own thing. So I I stopped working in December, and so since then I've tried to give myself that time to be like, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
Oliver's in school for 8 hours a day. I'm like, what can I do with my time besides doing the dishes, or I don't know, crying into a pillow? Just kidding. I'm okay, you guys. But
Do you simultaneously or do those things separately?
I bring the pillow downstairs to the kitchen with me.
You have it tied to your waist.
Yeah.
I bring it up.
Yeah. That might be something you can market, like some sort of strap you wear. It's like the cry pillow strap where it just stays right on your face.
I'm sure I could. There's lots of people that would probably use those.
Ever want to cry?
You could be the new My Pillow guy, Maya.
Yeah.
He
needs to be replaced. I know he needs to be replaced.
Didn't he go to jail, or didn't he get busted for doing coke or something like that? I thought the My Pillow guy was kind of nuts somehow.
Isn't that the other guy? Not the Shamu guy.
ShamWow?
ShamWow, yeah, ShamWow.
Billy,
what was the guy with the beard?
Billy Blanks, Billy.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I know he did a lot of coke, but he died of a heart attack.
That
which
tracks.
Questionable.
Yeah.
I thought the My Pillow guy got canceled because of like the views he had.
He's on the Trump train, man. Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Bed Bath & Beyond just dropped him. They say it's because of lack of sales, but we all know it's lack of sales because no one wants to support that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, these, it's funny. Not that I'm going to say he, anything about his political leanings, but like, what is with these people who want, if you're in the business of like selling something and you know that a guy like Trump is hated, wouldn't you just be like, I just sell pillows. Like, why like, don't fucking talk about it? Be like, maybe I want to keep moving. I want to fucking ride this train as long as I can. How about I just don't talk about it? And, then I maybe keep.
Well, look at the Tom Sawyer guy over here. He posted a bunch of on his Facebook, and I don't even think he's in business anymore. I think he sold it.
Really?
Really?
I think so.
I know that Tom Sawyer's still around, but maybe he himself isn't.
Got out of it.
I don't think he's out of it. But I mean, I understand what you're saying politically. Like, it doesn't make sense to be like, yeah, I fucking love Trump, and Black Lives Matter isn't a thing. Like, and then all of a sudden, like, people aren't going to spend their money with you, man. Like, people voice who they're going to support based off their money, man. Money talks.
Yeah. Right. Oh, absolutely. It's this weird thing where I'm always like, there's some things like you don't have to announce. Like, it was a really funny story I was talking about a while back. The NASCAR announced that they were going to stop flying the Confederate flag at all events, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Good thing. I think we can all agree on that. But also, I think most people had no fucking idea that NASCAR was still flying the Confederate flag. So, like, they could have just quietly in the middle of the night taken down the flags and never said anything, and people would have just been like, never asked a question. But once you announce it, then everyone's like, wait, you guys were still doing that, you fucking assholes? Why? That now we're more mad because we know. Like, it's like, you need a better PR guy, man. He's got to tell you, like, some things you don't need to make a Twitter post about. Like,
just take it down and walk away.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's not something you announce. You're gonna get in more trouble because people will be like, "You're telling me in 2020 you still were doing that?" Okay, yeah.
But maybe it was their PR move, like, I have no interest in NASCAR whatsoever, but that brought it to my attention. NASCAR again was in my mind. So
I guess
maybe that was their move. So everyone was thinking about NASCAR.
Yeah. Did you watch Talladega this year then?
No.
No. I'm like, did they have a Talladega?
I was like, Talladega Nights with Will Ferrell?
Yeah. That not this year, but I might. Yeah, I don't know. It's so crazy the way people, I mean, it doesn't help now that everyone has a platform and everyone feels they need to voice their opinion and get on the weird, it is kind of weird where like every I don't know, like even every business, even if they're on, no matter what side they decide they want to get in on, like they have to like voice their opinion about every social issue that comes up. And I'm like, I don't know, man, like I just want toilet paper. I don't really care what Brawny is doing. Or whatever. Like I just, it's a weird thing that we now know the political leanings of like every corporation and but of course we're all fucking hypocrites. Like every goddamn cell phone we have is made by child slave labor and shit like that. So it's like we're all, everyone makes
convenience, man.
Yeah, everyone makes their concession about like what they'll accept, unfortunately. So
for sure.
Yeah, it's wild. But again, hopeful that things move in the right direction.
One can hope.
One can hope. Well, let's see. We got another 10 minutes left here before this is over. So what we'll do is I will real quickly tell everyone where they can find the show again, social media, etc. So in case we run out of time before that happens, I want you to shout that out.
Yeah, you guys can find us. Our Instagram is weekly.awesome.podcast. Our Facebook is just Weekly Awesome Podcast. We do have a Gmail open for any questions, concerns, topics you want to hear us talk about, and that's just weeklyawesomepodcast@gmail.com.
All right. So go check it out, follow them, subscribe on Spotify, and do all that jazz. We'll have the links in the show notes to this episode also, everyone. So real quickly before we go, we do a segment on the show called The Rundown. It is the final segment of the show. It's just a series of questions that we've compiled over the years. Individually, they don't mean much, but together they just start to paint a tapestry of who people are. So I'm going to ask you all a few questions, and we'll try and make it fast because we're running out of time, though. So here we go. Since we did have an inauguration today for a new president, if you could pick any celebrity to be president, who would it be and why?
Shit. Jennifer Lawrence or Kate McKinnon?
Okay. Jennifer Lawrence or Kate McKinnon? Why those two?
I feel like Jennifer Lawrence doesn't take shit, and she can find humor in any situation, which I think it's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
You can find a little bit of humor, you can find some light, and I don't know. And then Kate McKinnon, I just think she's a funny lesbian.
She's great. Yeah, she's hilarious. She's been holding up Saturday Night Live for the last 7 years, making it actually watchable when she's in it. So
and nobody come at me for my answers. It was just first thing that came to my mind.
You can email her at weeklyawesomepodcast@gmail. New episodes. Krista.
Oh man, this is a tough one. I don't know. John Malkovich.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
I really like. He's one of my favorite actors. Let me see. Well, definitely not Kanye. I guess Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like she could do the job. I think she's smart enough. She said she doesn't want to do it, which good for her for being smart enough to know that. Like, she's like, I don't want that fucking job. Are you kidding me? She's like, right? I'm doing fine. I don't need that kind of stress for 4 years.
Right.
Yeah, if you could put her in there, I think she'd do a good job. Oh, all right. If you could get rid of one state, any of the states in our 50 states, which one would it be and why?
What state was the most red?
Oh, good question.
I'm definitely going to get added for that one.
One of the square ones. Sorry, North Dakota. The more square a state is, the more red they are. The shittier the state is. You got to have some ripples to be a good state. Yeah, those middle America, like Nebraska and those like Iowa, shit like that. Although, you got Arkansas, Mississippi, those type of things too. I don't know. Any whichever one's most red, that's what you're saying?
I go with Idaho. Fuck it. I'm sorry.
All right.
Fuck it. Idaho.
Yeah,
Peace.
Idaho.
I was gonna say I thought about Idaho, then I was like, that's where my partner came from. I can't. I mean, but maybe now I can get rid of it.
Yeah. You already got your
Idaho
partner. You
is
don't need it anymore.
It's a beautiful state. I'm not gonna lie. It's a beautiful state, but it's too gun crazy and it's too crazy over there.
It's
Wild West.
It's a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What is a guilty pleasure song of yours? And I mean a song like if you're rolling down the street blaring it, you pull up to a stoplight with your windows down, there's a bus stop full of people, those windows got to go up. It's too embarrassing. What is a guilty pleasure song of yours?
I don't have one because I don't get embarrassed like that.
No, you just unabashedly.
I'm like, hey, roll your window down.
Let me send you my playlist on Spotify. Bang this with me. Krista, anything?
I'm not really embarrassed by the shit I listen to, but apparently Limp Bizkit people aren't into, but I fucking love Limp Bizkit. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that does. I feel like that qualifies. It's not En Vogue. It's certainly,
I love me some En Vogue.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Creed's My Own Prison song.
Man, wow, not just Creed, a specific Creed song. Okay,
that specific Creed song.
that is an answer. All right, let's see. We'll go with last one. If you could have only one fruit for the rest of your life, all other fruits are gone. You could have one fruit. What fruit would it be?
Pineapple.
Good answer. That's my answer.
Fucking love it.
It's so good.
Tomato.
Tomato?
Ooh, versatile.
Okay. Very good. That's versatile. Someone I never thought I could beat pineapple, and then the other day on the podcast someone said avocado, and I'm like, oh fuck, you're right.
Avocados are good.
I could fuck with
I could do without easily.
Really? See, I grew up, my grandma had an avocado tree in her backyard, and I would just eat an avocado, like just an avocado, like just slice it open, eat that. I love
I'm like that. Jessica's sister just bought a house down in Santa Barbara, and she has like 20 avocado trees, and she shipped us some up for Christmas, and they were the best avocados that I've ever had.
That you're lucky. I love an avocado, and they're outrageously expensive for no reason.
Yeah, they're so expensive. Yeah, but if I had to pick an actual fruit, I mean, tomatoes and avocados are fruits, but mango.
That's a good one too.
Oh,
mango.
That is a good one.
Too.
Damn, that's a good one.
All right. All right. That is the rundown with Maya and Krista from the Weekly Awesome Podcast, everyone. New episodes again every Friday. Subscribe on Spotify. Follow them on Instagram. We'll have links to the episodes or to their show and everything in the show notes for this episode. All right. Well, hey, I really appreciate you two being here. This was fun. We should do this again sometime.
Yes, thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
You'll have to come on our show
Anytime. Let me know. I technically am unemployed now because comedy is dead. So anytime, let me know. I would love to. So.
Awesome. Cool.
All
Thanks
right.
for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for listening, everyone. For the Social Hour, I've been Deece, and for Maya and Krista, the Weekly Awesome Podcast. We will see y'all next week.